creating wealth, freedom, and security using real estate investing. This is Get Real Wealthy.
All right, on this episode of Get Real Wealthy, we're going to talk about financial independence, and we're going to look at it through the eyes of a young adult. So, what is financial independence? What does it mean? Well, first of all, I think that financial independence means that you are given more choice in what you want to spend your time doing. And this is going to be different for different people. There is a common thing that you'll see, particularly when you talk to older people, is that you need to go out, get a good education, then get a good job, then work for 40 or 50 years, then retire, then use your nest egg to be able to live off that. Now, you can do it at an earlier age if you choose, but most people have not decided to do that. You remember, it's a choice, okay? Now, if you can just remember that it's a choice and that you choose when to do it and when not to do it, you have to make a decision on what is going to get you to that point before 40 years from now, or 30 years from now, or 20 years from now, or 10 years from now, okay? So what is financial independence? There are three main expenses that everybody has, okay? They are accommodation, they are transportation, and food. They're the three main expenses that you have, okay? Now, if you can create income that comes to you without you having to spend time creating it, you can create financial independence because it covers your accommodation, your transportation, and your food. Well, what does a person spend? Well, if you're in residence, one of the things you can do is you could talk to your parents and ask them, hey, what do I spend on a given month here in residence for accommodation and food? It gives you an idea. If you're working right now, what is it that you're spending for your accommodation and your food? If you're living at home, what's the difference between maybe renting a room with a couple of friends or versus renting a house on your own? Okay, those are all going to be different depending on what you want to do. The only way to figure it out is to come up with a plan and write it down. Come up with a budget. Figure out how much would you spend in a month where you are now. Your needs are going to be different depending on where you are. If you're just starting out, you're probably okay sharing a room with a bunch of other friends. But if you're with a girlfriend or boyfriend, you may want to do something together. Well, together means that there won't be other people, means that the cost is going to be higher. So you're going to need to figure out what that cost is. Is it $2,000 a month? Is it going to be $1,000 a month? Then what does it cost for your groceries in a given month? Are you looking for organic milk and organic wheat products, or are you able to just buy bread that makes sense and is that something that you're going to be able to buy when you go out to the supermarket to buy your food? And what is that going to cost you? Is it going to cost you $500 a month? Is it going to cost you $250 a month? So let's say it's $2,000 a month, and let's say your food is $500 a month. And let's say your transportation costs for a month are, let's say, $600 a month. So we're at $3,100 a month for a young adult, let's say, to be able to have those main expenses. In order to have financial independence, you're going to have income that's coming into you that exceeds $3,000 per month. So how can you do that? We're going to talk more about different ways of doing that in the future, but a simple way that people move down this path is through house hacking. So, and it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to have a house that you own at the beginning. Perhaps you're renting a house and you have 4 bedrooms and you only need 1 bedroom, and the other 3 bedrooms you have friends, and you're renting that place for $2,000 a month. But if you want to live in that place, you can rent out the other 3 bedrooms for $800 a month. So that $800 a month means that $2,000 is going to go towards your landlord in order to pay for the accommodation. You get an additional $400 a month that comes to you, and you're able to stay for free, so that reduces your cost of the accommodation by what? $2,000 a month. So now you have $400 a month, you're short $700 a month. You're getting closer towards financial independence. And that may be okay in the situation that you're in right now, but as you get older, you're going to have different requirements. If you have a family and you have a young child, or if you have children, you're going to want to have different things. You're not probably going to want to share your accommodation with a bunch of strangers. Things will change and you'll have to change the amount of funds that come in. So all of those things play into what financial independence is for each person. For each person, it will be different. And when you decide on having financial independence, it could be related to, what you would want to do in the future for a job. Okay? So perhaps if you've created this financial independence, you can have a job because you love it. Okay? You can leave a job for another job because you have this financial independence in the background. Or if you have no job and you choose to work on passion projects instead, you'll have that ability because you have financial independence. All right? So, what do we know? We know that there are creative ways that we can go about doing this. You're not limited to this one podcast either. There are books on house hacking. There's information out there on investing. And we're going to talk about the FIRE community in a future episode. So if you're interested in learning more, the next step I'm going to give you is to do some research about the FIRE community. I'm not going to tell you what that means. I'll tell you on the next episode. All right. I hope you've enjoyed this episode of Get Real Wealthy. We're talking about financial independence for young adults, but it applies to everyone. I hope you figured out a couple of pieces of information that you can go back and apply, because that's the key here. Go back and apply. So, look at what you're going to be working on is look at the FIRE movement, and if that's something that you're interested in. Have a great one, everyone.
Make sure to check out getrealwealthy.com.
Until next time, I'm Quentin D'Souza. Get out there and take action.
The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are provided for information purposes only and should not be construed as an offer to buy or sell any securities or to make or consider any investment or course of action. For more information, go to getrealwealthy.com.